Okay, you guys. So I want to take a little side note. We've been throwing around these terms, chromosomes, genes. We've been throwing around DNA, and we always talk about how those code for our traits. So I want to show you the relationship, because in actuality, all of these things are the exact same. So it's just the way that it's packaged. So we're going to take a cell here. Okay, and this is just going to be, I don't know, like a cell from your skin. Okay, this is our cell membrane that I just drew in, and all of our information is located in what we call the nucleus. So I'm going to label this nucleus. Okay. Now, within that nucleus, there is all this stringy stuff here. Okay, we have all this stringy stuff, and I'm going to do it kind of like this because I'm going to pretend that it's been copied already, and we've already got our duplicates, and it's all this stringy stuff in here. Okay. Well, we did green already. And we have different chromosomes. We have 23 pairs of chromosomes, one from mom and one from dad. And so we have different chromosomes. So I'm just going to so I've got 4 chromosomes going on, 4 colors, okay? And I'm using duplicated ones because I want to show you the X. So inside here is all the genetic information, okay? This is all the genetic information kept in the nucleus. Now, if we were to examine this in more detail, I'm going to examine the green one here because it looks like I'm touching the green. Okay, this green one is this coiled up mass here. And once it's replicated, and that's a chromosome. Okay, it's this coiled up stringy stuff. That's not how I spell chromosome, chromosome. Okay, and it's just this coiled up long piece of string. And I'm going to use this, some visual aids too in a minute, okay? And from there, if we were to take our magnifying glass and go down even further, okay, we're going to go down to this section right here, okay? That is different genes. Genes are sections on a chromosome. Genes are particular sections. Oh, I can highlight. I forget I can highlight on here. I think this is, where's my highlighter? I think, is this that highlighter? We'll see. Can I do, is that how I work? Oh, yeah. So that might be one gene. This controls, this is all of the information that determine the tail color of Poppy and Sky. Maybe this is another gene. Okay. This might be their eye color. Okay, and then we have another gene up here. Okay, so these different sections on a chromosome. So they are sections on a chromosome. Whoops. And I'm trying to do this sideways. It's kind of weird. It's not going to work. So, but there are sections on the chromosomes that code for particular traits. Now, if we were to take one of these genes, okay, so let's take this red one in the middle, and I'm still going to use green here. If we were to take one of these genes and I were to stretch it out because it's really coiled up, what I would find is that it ends up being, I'm not very good at this. Let me erase this. Okay, so it's going to end up being this like little, we call this a double helix here. It's like this little double helix ladder, okay? And this is a strand of DNA, okay? This whole thing, all of these genes together, this whole chromosome is just one super long strand of DNA, okay? The DNA is like magnified. It has these little base dudes in it. You'll learn about that in biology. It's got sugars in it. Okay, this is the basic instruction. Sections are called genes. Chromosomes are when you have this DNA with these genes, these sections are called genes, all coiled up. Okay, so that's the relationship. So essentially, they're all DNA. It's just whether or not it's all coiled up as a chromosome with all of the genes, or if you're looking at just one particular gene, one particular section of DNA that codes for a trait, or if it's talking about DNA in general, it might just be looking at a couple, like a little bitty section of that gene, for instance, okay? It doesn't have to refer to the whole gene. So DNA is the smallest. DNA makes up the genes. Genes are found or make up the chromosome. And all of that is inside your nucleus. And so now it's going to be model time. So here is a piece of yarn, okay? So this yarn, if you look, and I'll try to get it as close as I can, okay? I am double-stranded. I am DNA. So hopefully you can see that I am double-stranded, okay? It's just two strands that are wrapped up together, okay? So this whole strand of yarn we can think of as a big, long, stringy DNA piece, okay? It's double helix, which that part we'll get into biology, but if you can just think of the yarn as a big, long strand of DNA, that's awesome. So each color on this yarn represents, so orange, pink, blue, green, they all represent different genes, different sections of the yarn or the DNA that code for different traits. Now, this DNA, if we just left it all out like this, it gets all crazy. It's going to be all wadded up. We have 23 sets or 46 chromosomes, and they're all long and stringy and like longer than football fields. So what happens is they get tingly really easily. And so they have to get organized, and they get organized when they start to coil up. So they wrap around these things called proteins, okay? And you wrap it around, and you wrap it around. And this might take me a minute because I don't have one already set up, and I only have one pipe cleaner here. But hopefully you can see that I'm starting to coil up. I'm still that same DNA. I'm just being organized now. I'm just organizing myself. And once I organize and I become nice, tightly wound up around this protein, okay? We call this histones, and there's fancy names for it that you'll learn in high school. You'll see that the genes are still there. These sections are still here. The DNA is still here. It's just changing the way it's organized. So if I keep doing this, my gene for the orange one will eventually give way to the gene for the next one. And now here's the thing. Technically, this is like right before the chromosome. This is called a chromatin. We're not going to worry about that. And this can go on and coil up even more. And so now you have your chromosomes, okay? Same stuff is here. It's still made of DNA. Chromosomes made of DNA. Different colors represent the different genes, but it's the same yarn, the same DNA. So hopefully this helps you to understand the relationships between DNA, chromosomes, and genes. And this is all packaged up here in the nucleus of a cell.